Hello YouTube and welcome to new episode for beginners. In today's video I decided to cover SQL system, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna build your first SQL system by using our components from Bonce. And before we're gonna move forward and talking about different type of components, mid-base, mid-range, and what amp and how to tune them, let's find out what's the difference between SQL, SQ, and SPL, and then we're gonna move forward. Let's start with the sound quality first, which is SQ in the shorter way, and what type of equipment we're usually using to build this type of system. And usually we can see two-way system, which is 2 6.5 and 2 pair of tweeters, and in some adventure setup you can see three-way system, which is more complicated to build, and of course it's going to include sealed box in the trunk or glove box, so depending on how you're going to build that. And why it's sealed box? Because only sealed box will give you best efficiency on a wider frequency range, comparing with the ported box is never gonna produce that wide frequency range comparing with the sealed box, but at the same time sealed box will never gonna be louder than the ported box. Let's move to another class, which is sound quality leak, or SQL in a shorter way. And what's the key difference between those two classes? So SQL and SQ. So in my opinion, what I can say that SQL is the man who really loved the way how the SQ sound, but at the same time he want to make it louder. And what we have to know about the SQL is there's no SQL system without the mid bass. We of course have to include the mid bass in your system. Without the mid bass, it's not sound quality. It's just straight SPL, and SPL just designed to play as far as possible. So, and that's why we're here today, to find out best components to make sure every single dollar that you spend going to perform really well. And now, before we're going to move forward and build our first SQL system, let's cover last class of the car audio system, which is SPL. And what's the key difference between SQL and SPL? And SPL, which is sound pressure level, it's really simple. We need to make our ride as loud as possible, and that's the setup when we can see like 12 15s, 12 18s, 24 12s, and all that stuff. Yeah, we needed to make your ride as loud as possible. And of course, usually we're using only the mid-range, just because in case if we're going to use 24 subs, it's really difficult to get cover all those bass with the music. So, and that's why we usually using only the mid-range speakers. And of course, guys, we have some hybrid version, so when the people trying to use like 6 pairs of mid bass and 4 pairs of mid range to make it balanced as possible, it's a bunch of different type of setup that you can make it, but that's kind of the start point and different between each classes. So now is perfect time to move forward and show you guys what I prepped on the table and see how it's gonna play. Let's move forward. And that's what we finally have on our table. Sorry guys, I just brought another pair of speakers and restock everything on my table because I forget about the SQ components. So let's start with the SQ. So what we have a pair of speakers from Hydra, which is a sound quality pair of speakers, really friendly on the budget. We don't have anything crazy on the budget today. So they're all components that we have on our table, they're really friendly. So that's what we're gonna start with. Then we're gonna use Machete Fight mid-range and mid-bass to experience our SQL system. We'll see how it's going to perform. And as of SPL system, we're going to use a simple pair of mid-range speakers. So what's the point of this video? I just want to kind of transfer you the feeling and difference between each class of the components. So that will allow you to better understand which way you want to go in case if you decide to build your first audio system. And yes guys, there's a lot of conversation about SQL, SPL, and SQ, but in the same time I know it's not a lot of place where you can stop by and try different components and hear what's the difference between each one. So first test, we're going to start with the Hydra. We have a tweeter connected, Hydra connected. Second test, we're going to use that's MLH25. As of tweeter, we're going to use MLH25 in both ways for SQL and SPL. And about the crossover and the way how I'm going to set up the crossover, I'm going to set up just the way I like. It's not going to be, I'm not going to share information about how to set up crossover on each pair of speakers because it's going to be really complicated and a long video. I'm sure you're not going to watch that. But in case if you like, let me know. I'll make that video as well. So let's start our show. Hydra first. Time to set up crossovers. And yes guys, we're gonna actually recording the rest of the video from my iPhone because iPhone mic has a better kind of I don't know, noise reduction or something. So with some reason, iPhone mic recording in the best way and transfer better the difference between speakers. Unfortunately, the DJI mic, they are really specific, made it for conversation kind of style. All right, let's move forward.
Hey, yeah, I've been laying low and getting to some place with the bros. People hitting me about so and so, but say it ain't so. I've been out the way, I stay away from starting to grow. Cause the pros got a pro, it's all under control. Moving militant, my soldiers, we stick to the code. Sticks and stones, broken bones, put a tag on their toe. White flags from the enemies, they six in a hole. Cause the pros got a pro, it's all under control. Yeah, and she got sick of her friends, pulling up, getting this band. Yeah. No perk, get out of my head. A year ago, I couldn't get out of my bed. Yeah, I've been putting off my dad. I would never stress no bitch. Bitch gon' always shed. Baby, I'm always ready. Doing this all day.
In our SPL setup, that's going to be pretty easy. We're just going to remove one mid bass and we'll add another mid range. So, and that's pretty much our SPL setup. Or just simply, let's let one speaker on. I'm just gonna simply disconnect the mid bass. We'll see the difference.
We'll stick to the code. Sticks and stones, broken bones, put a tag on their toe. White flags from the enemies, they six in a hole. Cause the pros got a pro, it's all under control. Yeah, and she got sick of her friends. Pulling up, getting this band. I like my women just like my. I've been laying low and getting to some place with the bros. People hitting me about so and so, but say it ain't so. I've been out the way, I stay away from starting to grow. Cause the pros got a pro, it's all under control. Moving militant, my soldiers, we all stick to the code. Sticks and stones, broken bones, put a tag on their toe. White flags from the enemies, they six in a hole. Cause the pros got a pro, it's all under control. Yeah, and she got sick of her friends. Pulling up, getting this band. I like my women just like my money, I make them extend. Tokyo stacking my yen, smoke a little perk, get out of my head. A year ago I couldn't get out of my bed. Yeah, I've been putting off my dad, been putting off my dad. Damn right, y'all said what I said. Playboy,